Hey guys, you're watching Chaotic TV. We're bringing you more from IEM Katowice. This is game 4 in this DVP. In the top left of Ohana, we have the blue player playing as a Terran for Team Empire. He is Kaz. And his opponent on the bottom right, he is the red Protoss playing for Team Alternate. He is Socke. Alright, now we saw that Kaz was a little bit macro heavy in the last game. There is such a thing as being too macro heavy. In the first game he went a little greedy and got a third command center before Socke, and if he had been left alone, he'd have been the one to be able to hold off Socke's insane push with just 6-7 gateways and continuing warp-ins. In the second game, Empire Kaz was the one with the production and the ability to move forward. In the third game, Kaz was the one who had a huge production lead to begin with. The problem is that he continued to macro. He was on 4 bases, building a 5th, getting some serious turtling up with planetary fortresses, but he did not keep attacking Socke. He had a bank of 3,000 minerals, 900 gas at the very end of the game, and if he had been the one to keep putting on the pressure, he'd have been able to knock out some of Kaz's forces before Kaz got maxed. But Socke maxed. I was completely misspeaking right there. The Protoss was extremely area of effect damage heavy. He had Colossi. He had 4 of them. He had 7 Templar, I think. He was continuing to do some terrific storms, and he was just punishing the Terran army. The Terrans, the Marine Marauders, were melting so quick, and without them, the Ghosts melted. So the EMPs did almost nothing. They were hitting Colossi. The Vikings were getting stormed. Without those Vikings, the Colossi were able to do the damage that they're made to do. They were able to use those extended thermal lances to just rip right through that Terran army. So it was Kaz's fault for letting Socke get maxed. When he was up 60 supply and he was maxed, he should have done a little bit of pressure, knocking out bases, knocking out the economy of Socke. And I really think that he could have taken that game. But Socke right now leads 2-1 in this series, and we are watching game 4 right now. So since we're still waiting for them to choose a tech path, we're going to shout out their Twitter accounts right now, again, like we did in game 1. Empire Kaz is spelled just like his ID is up here. Just put an underscore in between that, so it's Empire _ Kaz. And Socke is not ATN Socke, it's Socke SC2, right behind Socke. So you can follow me at Chaotic TV, which you can see right here, but I'm still working on updating that graphic. It's a very weak graphic in my opinion. We're going to see a bunker put down very late for Kaz. Kaz should have, with this, I guess he doesn't really care. He doesn't have any Marines coming across the map. I think he's just kind of trying to mind fake Socke right now. Goes to cancel. 75. He did lose that SCV. He did. But there have been 2 probes killed on Socke's side of it. So he might have had Marines down there, but they might have been killed early before that bunker was able to get up. If he kills the SCV, then the Marines have nowhere to run, especially even against Zealots. Unless if you only have one Marine, you're not going to be able to kill a Zealot. If you have 2 Marines, you can do some serious micro, which you see in that StarCraft Master minigame, which is a lot of fun. But Kaz is going to be the subject to some little bit of pressure of his own. He does have the forward bunker here with 4 Marines in it, and they're going to come out and try to snipe. Oh, he's going to start taking some serious damage from this Zealot. He's going to be able to lose one of them. He's lost 1 Marine. A shot from that Stalker would probably knock out another one. The one on the left. But now there's a Marauder, so he's going to be fine. Just fine. And the army supply is, again, in Kaz's favor. If he continues the kind of production we saw in the last game, and he's a little bit more ballsy, then we'll see some serious benefit from that production that he showed that he can do in that last game. Socke showed he's good at 2 basing in that first game, and his 3rd base was fine in the last game, but he was just allowed so much time. His production leveled off when he went for that 3rd base. He got a lot of tech, he got a lot of upgrades. He was not able to continue his production because of all that greed, and that would have been the perfect time for Koss to move forward and attack him soon after that. Before we saw him do a drop, and there were charge lots and stuff like that. But I mean, both of these players are learning. So in the first game, Koss learned not to be greedy, so he's two-based for the last 3 games. For the last 2 games, and he's two-basing right now. He's not going for that third before he gets on all of his production facilities. And Socke had learned that, or at least was reminded that Koss was very biocentric, so he went for those those AoE units. He's probably going to stack on another robotics support thing, which we're getting right here, and a forge. So he's going to start doing his upgrades and his extended thermal lance. So he's going to start getting more Colossi out. Now, since he does that, Koss knows that he's going to have the ability to create a lot of Vikings. So he has learned to sacrifice Medivac production for Vikings. But he does need to just push forward with all of those units that he can get out. Now, this is the first time we've seen Koss without taking the supply lead in these 3 games. And it looks like those rocks are going to be knocked out, and Socke is looking to take a third about the same time that Koss is. Koss is taking out his own rocks, and both these players are kind of on similar mindsets, even though they're on different races. This probe is set to put down at least probably a forward pylon, and the third base has already been scouted by Socke. The first Colossus is on its way out. The Twilight Council is going to be here to completely allow the continued upgrades of the Protoss player, since he's got 1-1, and now he can get 2 at level 2. He's probably going to drop another forge if he doesn't already have to. I don't see the second one, but he's continuing to build up, and he still has the supply lead over Koss. Koss is going for the third quicker. He's going to lose this SCV, and his command center production is going to stop, so he's going to have to come down, clean this up, throw another SCV on it, and he'll be able to continue that up. But the forward pylon is down for Socke. Socke is going to continue to do all of these zealot pushes that he has done in the game 2 on Whirlwind that were very effective in limiting Koss's economic ability. I think he's learned in the last game that Koss, if you're allowing production, he's going to be able to do some serious army build-up. It looks like the factory was trying to land so that he couldn't put down a third Nexus, but that's not going to be the case right now. Koss is moving forward with a pretty substantial force for this early in the game, and he's probably going to try to do something like he did on on game 1 with the 2-gate push. But in this case, as we talked about, variations on the 2-gate push, he did the 2-gate into expansion. Now, Koss is very lucky to get his command center to finish before Socke was able to come forward, because if he was able to force a cancel on that, Koss would be in such bad shape right now. But Socke, being supply capped, kind of hurt himself. If he were able to keep warping in, he probably would have kept on pushing. But he's supply capped, so he wasn't able to keep pushing, and he let Koss catch up in supply. So there's a little bit of difference on both these players for little mistakes that cost them are very vital to the game. Little mistakes are make or break for these pro players, and you just see the huge production tab of Koss right now. He's got that Ghost Academy coming in. He's probably expecting more Templar, as we've seen on we saw on the map. We saw him building that Templar Archives. I don't know if I noted it or not, but now he's got Storm almost finished, so he already knows that there's Templar on the map, and this factory is getting all of this free positional info over Socke's army, because it takes forever for Stalkers to kill a building. But now Koss knows that there's stuff moving across the map. He just sees that there's going to be another warp in right here. Oh, these zealots, we actually caught it this time, and we didn't catch it on Whirlwind, but he's going to be able to kill a huge number of these SCVs if he hadn't walked behind the mineral line and got himself choked off right there. Wow, that gave all of these SCVs time to run away. He's still killing a number of them, but he is not killing as many as he could have if he hadn't relayed them to behind the mineral line. That's actually really funny to me. Sorry. 5 were able to be killed right there, but and Socke tried to come in behind us and do a little bit of a flanking maneuver on that natural base. He's completely shut down by the reinforcements of Koss. Koss right now still has a supply lead, and he's putting down a sensor tower, which is a good deal. He's actually putting it a bit further back than I've seen some players put it, but it's probably going to get sniped right now by these Zealots. Zealots doing a charge on the sensor tower made them useless against this heavy bioforce. The storms are pretty darn good, and there are no splits from Koss right now. He's continuing to move forward. He does a great EMP, not hitting any of the Templar, which is a big problem. A forward pylon is continuing to try to be put down. He's going to be sniped off, and the probe will be gone in just a second. And we see another command center coming down. He's probably going to make that into a planetary. And, he's probably actually going to make it into orbital command. Just move it over right here. He's going to see that there's a forward pylon right there. And this factory is still just getting all of the data that you could ever imagine. Level 3 armor is coming in right now, which is a good deal for Protoss because all of these Marines are here. The armor is especially helpful on these Zealots who are very heavily hit-pointed and armored. Because this many Marines and things attacking you it's like a bunch of bee stings, and if you can take away a little bit of the sting from this many bees, then it's just going to hurt a whole lot less overall, which is why he goes for armor before he goes for attack, because he doesn't need so much attack, especially with all these spell units like the Templar, to do damage against these units. He needs to be able to survive them long enough that he can do enough AoE damage to them, which is a very subtle but very important thing. If Koss were teching, if he were meching right now, then he would have gone for attack, but because he needs to kill a smaller number of very heavy units very quickly. So all of these Zealots are moving forward. You see that a number of them survive long enough for these Colossi to do some damage. The Colossi are being taken out by these Vikings right now. Great storms on them. A little bit behind the Vikings are continuing to do serious damage to them. But you've got to remember, with a flyer, you actually have to aim underneath them, which is why there's this flyer help. You can see this little yellow line coming down from all these Vikings right now. You see that they have to storm where their actual position is, where their shadow essentially is, or not, excuse me, not shadow, where this little cursor is, because you need to be able to do the damage to them. If you storm on where they're actually sitting, you're only going to hit the most rear of them. And there's going to be a big Zealot warp through right here. He's going to try to attack, and there's not going to be anything. Oh, and the command center lands just long enough for these Zealots to start attacking it. The whole force of Koss moving forward and start taking it out. So there's heavy macro on both sides, and right now they're still playing against the other player. They're trying to feel them out as to what they're going to go for. Now, the compositions are pretty cut and dry. You know, it's biocentric against anti-bio from the Protoss. It's not really the Protoss' thing to set the pace of it. Now, if the Protoss had even gone Zealot Archon, Koss would still be doing it. So the planetary is completed, but it is going to be knocked out completely by Socke's forces once that. Oh my God, he's able to save it. If he can get a SCV in here right now, he's going to pull down a mule to save this base. And Socke's reinforcement pylon is still not been spotted by. Oh, it has been spotted by the Terran player. It just hasn't been noticed. So he's seen it that it's there, and now he's going to move in and take it out before any more Zealot warplanes come in. Now, both players are still posturing around the map. Koss right now, he's maxed. Socke is hurting. He needs to keep up the pressure, but he's taking right now to, I don't know why he really stimmed to kill a pylon, but he did. And all of his medevacs are out of energy right now, so he can't exactly put on the pressure I would love him to do. He doesn't have any more medevacs coming out. He is maxed on units, and he's actually going to probably lose a couple just so he can build more. But this big move forward, trying to kill off that ghost before it's able to get the EMP off. There are a number of ghosts here right now. There are 17 ghosts right now, or 15 ghosts right now. Excuse me, I can't do base 8 math, but this factory's finally going to die. Koss is still moving forward, only running away from those storms right now. Big storm on absolutely nothing right there. I wonder if that was a misclick. He's still got a number of storms on these two Templar, and if you can get a decent EMP on Oh, there's a huge EMP, taking out one of them completely. He's still got a number of storms in the back, but he's also storming his own zealots, and you just saw how many are melting right now. Kos is the one that has the supply lead right now. He's got 5 more ghosts coming in. He's going to have his +3. I'm sure he's waiting for that before he moves forward. And really tries to put the hurt on Socke. Socke right now down by 30 supply. And come on, man, clean up that pylon. You're bugging the crap out of me that you're not cleaning that up. There he goes. Very, very good. I don't know why that bugged me so much, but there's another pylon right here. So that one's not really been spotted, but there is a planetary here, and there are 2 missile turrets just in case a DT comes by and to help out against those colossi. Now all of these medevacs are seriously hurt, which is why he's reinforcing with 2 more medevacs, and +3 is coming down for the Protoss as well, who's continuing to move across the map, and he's got a warp prism coming in. I actually really like this play. There are no turrets behind here to prevent Zealot drop from killing a number of these SCVs, actually a whole lot of these SCVs. But he's going to do it right here instead. He's going to try to snipe off the level 3 armor upgrade, which is coming out, which is a big deal. If he's able to kill that off, then Kos will have to wait 10 seconds for his armor to finish before he can get level 3. But if he's able to get the armor, he's not going to be able to get the level 3 at all. He's going to knock out those level 2 weapons as well as armor as upgrade capping. The Terran player, he's not able to upgrade level 3 yet until he gets another armory out, and that's another 150 resources minimum. At the same time he's attacking this 4th base. All of these SCVs are in serious trouble getting splash damaged by the Colossi, but the planetary does indeed fall. Socke right now is still low on the supply comparatively, but there's another 4th base over here for Kos that has been spotted by Socke, has not been spotted by Socke. So I think he just placed it actually from upper here. He's got a number of reinforcing orbital commands for those mules, and he's able to sacrifice some of his SCVs to reinforce his army. At the same time, we do see a Dark Shrine coming up for Socke, and there's more Ghosts and Vikings coming out for Kos, so he's going to continue this anti-Protoss play. But this, oh my god, this storm count under Socke is tremendous. The medevacs are still really low on health. If they're able to get sniped off, the Kos is going to be in real trouble. Ooh, big scan taking out that observer. Pushing in on the force of Socke, trying to do a little bit of payback for losing his own force, pushes forward, and all of the units over here are posturing, getting ready to wow, 3 defensive storms that hit absolutely nothing. Big EMPs going down on everything. The Protoss player's army is completely melting, losing huge units like these Immortals, and all of the Templar are absolutely useless since they got those decent EMPs. The supply count is going heavily in Kos' favor. He knocked out that 4th base, another 4th base coming down over here. But Socke is going to be on the back foot. He's continuing to get EMP'd by this huge amount of Ghosts. I love this play out of Kos to go into the heavy Ghost play. They are so good against Zealots. They're so good against the Templar, and he has the Vikings to deal with the Colossus, and this lone Colossus is just going to be sniped. That is a huge blow to Socke. He needs all of the splash damage he can get. The Templar are out, but the number of orbital commands on the map for Kos right now is so high that these DTs are going to do absolutely nothing. Another planetary fortress down here in the bottom. The armory actually goes down right now so that Kos can continue to get that 3rd upgrade. Right now the upgrades for the Protoss player are 3, 1, 3 as well. And the Vikings are here. He's spotted, scanned. This next is going to force a cancel, and the crippled economy of the Protoss players is getting weaker and weaker as he mines out his 2nd base. Huge confrontation over here. The other one tried to corner the Terran player, but the Terran player has too much supply. He's able to survive. He's just soaking those freaking storms right now, landing some of the Vikings to pick off the remainder of these Stalkers, and all of the Zealots and probes that are over here are going to get killed too. The work count killed is about even up, but great feedbacks on the medics is probably a better go, especially behind these huge storms that happen. So he's not going to be able to heal anything, and the medics themselves are severely damaged. He's got to bring in 3 more medics. That's a lot of supply that Kos is going to have to sacrifice for his army, but he is reinforcing his army very well with a good composition of even more Ghosts. You see, they're the ones that survive each of these, and they need the support of the Marines and Marauders just to continue that kind of pressure, and Kos rebuilt it where his fourth was, and he's got such a better economy than the Protoss player. The Protoss player, Socke, is getting his own fourth. He's going to have to force cancel this one too, so he's doing a starving carve, essentially denying expansion to the point where Socke can't reinforce, but Kos can. So he's just continuing to be ahead, and just look how ahead he is. He's 112 supply in the lead. That is a tremendous amount, and this DT, come on, man. I feel bad for Socke right now. If Kos learned from that last game, he learned to keep up the pressure when he's maxed. He can reinforce all he wants. He's got a 2K, 1.7K bank right now. You just see how quickly these ghosts are taking out anything in their path. And there's the GG from Socke. Oh my goodness, such a great game played by Kos. He learned so well from Game 3. It ties the series 2-2. We'll see if he remembers his lessons in Game 5 in just a second. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Cheers.